Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I am Muhammad Raga from CCU class. Today I will present an interesting topic entitled Stereotype of Bullying in South Korea. So before we move on to the topic, first we have to understand what is the stereotype of bullying in South Korea and why is it important to discuss. Stereotype is a fixed idea or image that many people have, like a particular type of person, things, or event, but sometimes it is not true in reality. This study is important to learn in order to depth the understanding of other culture. So there will be no misunderstanding toward other culture. Stereotypes of bullying in South Korea itself are pretty popular. This statement supported by so many movies, drama, and comics or manhwa that contain bullying as part of their problem or issues. For example, drama entitled Who Are You? School 2015, Class of Lies, Beautiful World, and manhwa entitled Lookism, Dice, Gangnam Beauty, and so many. And then I only mentioned 2% of Korean works that contain bullying as the issue. There are so many more works that contain bullying as the part of the problem or issues. Bullying itself is unwanted, aggressive behavior among people that involves a real or perceived power imbalance. The behavior is repeated or has to be potential to be repeated over time. The type of bullying is also divided into three kinds, which are verbally, socially, and physically. But of course, you cannot judge the entire nation as a popular place of bullying based on a made-up story, right? That is why we will try to uncover this topic in this video. So, is bullying really is really exists and a very wide problem in South Korea? Let's talk about it now. So I have been looking for further information about bullying story in internet, and well, the result is pretty much awful to read. You could say that the result for some people isn't the same. Some person is only being bullied verbally, while others are unlucky enough to get some swollen and bruised in their face. And the fact that you can easily find this kind of story in internet made it much worse, since it means that bullying is already become a popular topic in there. You could simply type bullying in South Korea or bullying story in South Korea, and you could actually find so much stories with also picture for the proof of effect of bullying. Needless to say, bullying is present in most, if not all, Korean school to some extent. Usually, kids participate in mild severe bullying that just furtive enough to go unnoticed by teacher and authorities. Social bullying happens basically all the time, including exclusion bullying. Cyberbullying is also very common. Physical bullying happens regularly too, although I assume kids would usually be more careful about how hard they hit their victim. Bullying to this extent doesn't happen as frequently in typical school because most kids are sly enough to refrain from leaving any clear evidence of their crimes. This statement supported by Korea Times US article that said more than 30% of students in South Korean elementary, middle, and high school are victims of bullying. According to a study released in Thursday, the data was gathered by the Korea Institute for Health and Social Affairs and found 32.2% of respondents said that they have experienced violence at school. Now you might be wondering why bullying is such a prevalent issue in Korea. Well, it all comes back to the Korea apparent education system. I'm not going to go into detail, so I'll just sum it up with 2 points. The first point, the Korea education system does not take into account the welfare and mental well-being of a child. Yes, if you are suffering from anxiety at a young age or are stressed due to pressure from parents to succeed, you won't be getting any help or therapy from your school. In fact, they will probably make the situation worse by either ignoring you or blaming you for your poor state of mind. This, of course, would have negative effect on your self-esteem, to the point where you just start to isolate yourself and end up having no social life. With the majority of your weekends being filled up with studying, with that you are an easy target for bullies and your life is going to get even harder. The second point, the current education system is set up to be a competition. Essentially, children are brought up at a young age to constantly compete with their peers instead of working together and building teamwork and communication skills. With competition truly engraved in this kid at such a young age, the thing that naturally follows is hostility and hatred toward your peers. This then leads to bullying. Even though bullying is identically related to student or school life, this kind of thing also happen when people reach adulthood. There are some cases contain bullying, like what happened to famous people, that even could make those people frustrated and commit suicide. For example, Choi Jin Ri, or you known as Sully. Sully was a prominent member of the K-pop group who eventually became a soloist. She was known for being outspoken when it came to mental health issues, cyberbullying, and women's rights, which is uncommon among K-pop stars. This led to her becoming the receiving end of intense scrutiny and online backslash. She's been called ugly, untalented, and more crude remarks. It seems like whatever she did only drew in more hate from online netizens. According to BBC, she was found dead in her home with no sign of foul play. Considering her openness regarding her depression, with her posting several tear-jerking videos of herself, her death has since been ruled as suicide. She was aged 25 at the time. Now, as you can see, I already explained the bullying that happens in South Korea. So, what do you think about it? Is the stereotype true? Well, the answer is yes and no. Maybe it's true that bullying in South Korea is a very important issue that happen in there. And bullying also become the reason for someone to cause suicide. In 2019, Korea's suicide rate was 26.6 cases per 100,000 population. The suicide rate has steadily decreased over the past years until the previous years. However, South Korea's suicide rate is still the fourth highest in the world, according to the World Health Organization or WHO. But still, it shows that the government is trying to minimize the number of bullying cases. And then, despite the fact that I already stated before, not only South Korea, bullying is also happening in all countries over the world. So it is not fair to say that bullying in South Korea is worse than in other countries, because bullying is equally terribly everywhere. It's just that South Koreans are more openly on making bullying as the issues in their work, such as dramas, movies, and comics, or manhwa. Okay, that's all for me. Sorry if there are some mistakes, and thank you for your attention. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.